Today we're starting a new sermon series, as you can see up on the screen, which is entitled, The Secret to Happiness and Being Grateful in a Selfish World. And what we're going to be doing is looking at one of the age-old, eternal pursuits of mankind, and that is trying to be happy. I can't tell you how many people over the years that I have spoken to that basically just say to me, Scott, I just want to be happy. And they are pursuing all sorts of different things in their life, trying to find that magical thing that they think exists out there, that if they could just have this one magical thing instantly somehow in their lives, they would find a sense of happiness that they have been searching for so many years. But what you will find out is that most people never find it. And if you're like most people, the odds are at some point in your life, or even currently right now, you are sitting here thinking the same thing, man, I wish I could find a way to be happy. I'm just not a happy person. I don't know what it is, but I'm looking for that thing that will make me happy. For instance, this is, like I said, this is an eternal pursuit of mankind. Solomon. Solomon is one of the wisest men, or the wisest man ever to exist. What we see from Scripture, he's also the son of David. If you know David and Goliath, he becomes a King David someday, and Solomon is his son. Extremely wealthy, powerful man, extremely wise, but yet he is a man who was never able to find happiness with all the wisdom and all the resources that were at his hands. Here's what he writes in Ecclesiastes. Just listen to his words. He says, "Everything is meaningless," says the teacher. Completely meaningless. Good start. Good job, Solomon, okay? And then he says, "What do people get for all the hard work, for all their hard work under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth never changes. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries around and to rise again. The wind blows south and then turns north. Around and around it goes, blowing in circles. Rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full. Then the water returns again in the rivers and flows again to the sea. Everything is wearisome beyond description. No matter how much we see, we are never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we are not content. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Sometimes people say, hey, this is something new, but actually it is old. Nothing is ever truly new. We don't remember what happened in the past, and in future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now. I, the teacher, the king of Israel, and I lived in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to search for understanding and to explore by wisdom everything being done under the sun. I soon discovered that God has dealt a tragic existence to the human race. I observed everything going on under the sun, and really it is all meaningless, like chasing after the wind." So although people desire to be happy, many people never find lasting happiness in their lives. Not even the richest, not even the wisest among us have ever found that secret of how to be happy in their lives. Now, that led me to this question. Why not? Because at times I do see people in my lives, I'm sure you've seen them too, people that truly seem to be happy and content and satisfied in life, right? You see them, but why do so few people actually become those people? And I think the answer is this: because most people look in the wrong direction to find happiness. You see, the secret to happiness has nothing to do with a change in your physical life or the environment that surrounds you. That is not the key. The secret is actually found in your mental life. It's found up here in your head and how you view things and how you process things. When most people think about finding happiness, or they think about what will bring them happiness in life, what you will find is they tend to focus on who? Themselves. That's just what we do. They actually become more selfish in life when they pursue being happy. So they start to focus more and more on themselves. And the reason for this is every message we get in this world pushes us to pursue happiness through selfishness. Our world tells us if you're not happy, do more things for yourself. If you're not happy, go get more things for yourself. If you just get more stuff for yourself and do more things for yourself, you will become happy. Now, here's what's ironic. The secret to happiness is actually the opposite of that. The secret to happiness is learning to be less focused on yourself and actually more grateful for the things that you already have in life. I remember Gideon several years ago. It must have been probably 3 years ago. He was going through, Gideon's my 10-year-old now, so this is when he's probably like 7. And I remember it had to be sometime in early December, because did we hand out toys at food bank at the December food bank, or did we do that November? We did it December one, right? Okay, so it had to be somewhere mid-December, and it's getting close to Christmas, and I remember sitting in Gideon's bedroom at night, and we're getting ready to pray for him to go to bed, and I remember him complaining about all the things that he wanted for Christmas, but he couldn't have them all because we don't have enough money to get all of it, and so he had to pick and choose different things of what he really wanted for Christmas, and I remember sitting there going, this kid does not realize how good he has it. He has more stuff in his room at 7 than I had it in my entire life, probably up till the age that I was like 30, because we've just been very blessed as a family. And I remember sitting there and I said, Gideon, you know what's going to happen? You're going to food bank with me this week. And he's like, why am I going to food bank this week? I'm like, you're just going to go. You need to go to food bank. And I remember I took him to food bank, and we do the food bank in December here. We have you all bring in toys, and we hand out they're just smaller toys, Matchbox cars, some stuffed animals, some little games, whatever. And we open that hospitality room, and the kids come walking in from the kids from food bank, and they get to pick one thing, and we give them a hat and gloves. And I had him work in that room, and I remember afterwards that night, after working that, he said to me, Dad, I don't know why those kids were so excited. I mean, all they were getting is like a Matchbox car and like a pair of gloves and hat. And I'm like, Gideon, you need to understand where these kids are coming from. I'm like, you got to understand some of those kids probably won't get anything for Christmas. And that's the first time they've received a gift in maybe 6 months. I'm like, you understand what you have in your room probably is more than we have in that entire room. And I keep trying to tell you how blessed you are and how beneficial it is to live where we live and stuff like that. And you take it for granted, and you need to understand those kids saw that stuff and they were excited to get it. And you saw it as like, why would you be excited? And that was the first time it clicked in his head where he went, oh, I actually do have it really good. I'm like, yeah. And it changed his entire perspective about his world and the things he had. Where he is now a much more grateful son, realizing, you know what, I've got a lot. And we still pray about this regularly, and I hear him, because one night I pray, one night he prays. And in his prayers, even to this day, 3.5 years later, he'll sit there and he'll thank God for all the stuff we have, and realizing that most people don't have what we have. And that's still part of his prayer, and he got it. He started to understand, you know what, gratefulness is the thing that seems to be the key to happiness. Gratefulness is an appreciative attitude for what we have already received. Whereas what you find in selfishness is an attitude where it's focused on one's perceived entitlement. What I mean by that is this: when you're selfish, you think you're entitled to a whole bunch of stuff you don't have, and when you don't get it, you get angry. And it robs you of your happiness. Gratefulness, on the other hand, goes, I'm grateful for the stuff I already have, and if I get anything else, I'm just appreciative for that. That's a whole flip-flop on how this world teaches us to think. Now, the direction you choose in your life to look for happiness, it will have direct results on the experience that you have in this life. It will have direct results. Jesus says it like this in John 10:10. Jesus says, the thief, which is Satan, the ruler of this world, the thief's purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. Let me tell you what that is. Selfishness is the number one route Satan uses to destroy our lives. So you could say, with that passage, you could say the thief's purpose, which is teaching you to be selfish, all it does is steal, kill, and destroy your life. Destroy and steal your ability to be happy. And he says, my purpose, Jesus' purpose, is to give them a rich and satisfying life. And what does Jesus teach us? He teaches us to be grateful for the things that we do have. He teaches us to be humble and selfless. And he says, if you go that route, what you will find is you will find a rich and satisfying life. Have you ever noticed this? The most selfish people that you ever run into seem to be the least happy. Have you noticed that trend in your life over the years? The people who are most self-focused on themselves now tend to be the least happy people that you find. They're the very bitter people, nasty people, and you're like, how's that? Because you're doing what the world tells you to do. At the same time, the least selfless people that I've seen in my life usually are people that I would say are the most content, the most satisfied, the most happy in life, are the people who are the most selfless. So for the next 6 weeks, we are going to explore what is the secret to happiness. And the secret is this: it's learning to be grateful in a selfish world. So this week, we're going to take some time and hit on topic number 1, which I'm not going to spend too much time like I will next couple weeks, but on this one, which is this, is you need to learn to be grateful for the friendships you have. For the friends that you have in life, you need to be thankful and grateful for them. You see, selfishness will corrupt everything in our lives that are meant to bring us happiness, including our friendships. Let me just show you some ways that selfishness ruins your friendships and stops your ability from finding happiness in them. Here are just some things that I've seen over the years working with people. Selfishness in our friendships. It makes us feel let down by our friends when they don't do what we expect them to do. So we have friends, we have something on in our lives, and we expect them to do something even though we've never articulated it to them. We expect them to act a certain way, and they don't, and what we do with them is we feel let down by them. And we look at our friends and go, you just let me down. Selfishness makes us get upset with our friends when they don't say what we want them to say. How many of you have ever got upset with a friend because you wanted them to say a certain thing to you and they didn't say that to you and they told you something different? And you got ticked off. Been there? Because they didn't say what you wanted them to tell you. They might have told you what you needed to hear, but they didn't tell you what you wanted them to say, so you got angry with them. That's what selfishness does in friendships. Selfishness makes us get angry with our friends when they don't treat us the way we think we should be treated, when they don't coddle us the way we think they should coddle us, when they don't do exactly the things we think they should do for us. We start to get angry with them, and it starts to ruin our ability to find happiness in our friendships. And the last thing I see that happens quite a bit is this. Selfishness makes us jealous of our friends when they experience greater success or happiness in their lives than we do. This is the weirdest one of all of them. I see people who have friends, and because of selfishness, their friends become happy and have success, and because they're not, they get jealous of them and get upset with them and try to knock them down. And you're going, are you not friends? Why are you jealous of your friend? You should be happy for them. You should take joy in their successes. But that doesn't happen too often. These things don't stop us from considering people as friends. What they do, though, is they steal our happiness, and this is how. Instead of looking at our friends and going, I'm very happy for all the things you benefit me with in my relationship with you, we look at them, we look at all the things that tick us off about them, and we talk to other people about them. For instance, I hear people all the time talk and badmouth people, and they will talk about all these bad qualities about people, blah, 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 and then you find out later they're friends with that person. Been there? Have you been there? You hear all this stuff and you're like, man, they must be awful people. And the next thing you do is you turn around and you find out, oh, they're good friends. And you're like, I would have never have known that. How is it they are good friends? And what it is selfishness has creeped into that person's life. And instead of looking at friends as benefits, they look at friends and they look at all the negative things about them, and they look at all their thorns in them, and they harp on those things rather than the good things that they offer them. And that's how selfishness destroys our happiness. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give you 3 things that you can be grateful for in your friendships. 3 things to look at and go, my friends I have in my life, this is why I should be grateful for them, rather than just looking at all the negative things about them. Here's the first one. You should be grateful for your friends because they make you stronger. All right? If you have friends in your life, whether they're a perfect friend or not, most of your friends should be making you stronger. Here's what Solomon writes in Ecclesiastes 4. He says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other person can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, 2 people lying close to the other can keep each other warm, but how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple-braided cord is not easily broken. The first thing you can be grateful for your friends is this. Look for ways that they make you stronger. Think about if you had no friends. If you were totally on your own and you had no friends, what your life would be like. Then go, yeah, my friends might have some flaws. My friends might have some things that annoy me, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone. They make me stronger. They help me stand up in tough times when I need someone to help me stand up. Your friendship should make you stronger, and that's something you need to be grateful for in your life. The second way that you should be grateful for your friends is this. they should improve you. Your friends should be people that improve you. In Proverbs 27:17, it says this, it says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Okay, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Now, if you know how iron sharpens iron, it's not an easy, peaceful process. It's you slam them against each other, and it sharpens the iron, okay? Sometimes you need to be grateful for the friends in your life who will stab you in the front. That's the best way I can say it. How many of you have ever been stabbed in the back? Okay? How many of you have ever been stabbed in the front? Be grateful for those friends. It's good to have friends who stab you in the front, who just come to you and stab you. If your spouse, like my spouse, is my best friend, she stabs me in the front from time to time. Okay? Now, I'm not always excited about that, but I can tell you this. I'm very grateful to have Autumn in my life because she improves me. Okay? Carrie. Okay? There are people that way. I can give you two other I just seen here real quick. I can get Rick Whitehead. Rick Whitehead, I don't think will ever stab me in the back. He will stab me in the front, and I've had him stab me in the front. Not because he did anything wrong, but because he'll be honest. And that's what I mean by stabbing you in the front. They will tell you flaws that you have in your front. Jim Scott will stab me in the front. Okay? I am very grateful for God to have those men in my life over the last 8 years, as they will stab me in the front. They will tell me the hard truths that I need to hear from time to time. Sometimes we look at those people in our lives and we get upset with them and go, man, I can't stand them. And if you have a friend that constantly is stabbing you in the front, okay, you could bleed out and die. But from time to time, if they give you some time to heal, they are a benefit to have in your life. You need to be grateful for them. So be grateful for your friends that improve you and look at that side of them and go, yeah, I'm a better person because you are part of my life. The third way that you need to learn to be grateful for your friends is this. They're a blessing from God. Let me tell you why they're a blessing from God. I think we forget this a lot of times. No one has to be your friend. They choose to be your friend. Okay? No one has to be your friend. There's nothing that demands this person is your friend. They choose to be for whatever reasons. And we need to be grateful for that. It's very easy, just as easy, we could be totally on our own. And I'm sure we all know people that are very close to having no friends. And if you look at them, it's because they're extremely selfish people that drive everybody off. And people just go, I don't want to be your friend anymore, and I'm just getting away from you because you just suck everything out of me because you are so selfish. Okay? If you have friends, be grateful they choose to be your friend. What we happen to tend to do is this. We look at all their flaws, and we look at their flaws and go, man, look at all their flaws, when we should be spending time going, you know what, all the flaws they have, they can find just as many in you, and they still choose to be your friend. So you need to thank God for them and go, God, thank you for putting those people in my life, so I have friendships that improve me, that strengthen me, and that I can thank you for that these people choose to be my friend because I'm as flawed as they are, but they choose to love me anyways. So this week, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a little extra time and be grateful for the friends that you have in your life. Take a little extra time, be grateful for the friends that you have in your life. It's your choice how you choose to view your friendships. You can complain about roses. You can complain because roses have thorns, or you can be grateful that thorn bushes have roses. What I mean by that is this. You can sit there and you can complain about your friends and go, but they're still my friends. Or you can look at them and go, man, they're my friends and they've got some issues. And that's okay. Gratefulness is just a matter of how you mentally choose to frame things up here in your head. That's where gratefulness starts. Starting from a place of selfishness will lead you to just constant complaining and discouragement and discontentment in your life. But if you start from a place of gratefulness, what you will find is you will start to be a much happier person. You will start to experience the secret to happiness. So this week, do what Paul says in Romans 12 with your friends. Here's what Paul says. He says, love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Okay, read that again. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Make sure this week you take time to honor your friends. Tell them how much you appreciate them. And remember all their good qualities rather than focusing on all the things that bug you about them. And spend a week being grateful going, you know what, I'm just going to choose to look at the good things they offer me, not some of the bad things that bug me. Learn and choose to be grateful this week. And if you do, what you will find is this. You will end up being a little bit more happy than you were the week before because you've learned to be grateful in one area of your life. And for the next 5 weeks, we're going to talk about 5 other areas in our life that we need to learn to be grateful in, that so often this world has conditioned us to just be selfish in. And it steals and it robs our happiness and our joy in this life. And it steals and it robs our potential to serve God and be effective for his kingdom in this world. So let's learn to be grateful together and remember your friends this week. Let's pray.